That 6-minute mean time to respond is huge because IBM's 2025 cost of a data breach report, the average time it takes to identify, then contain a threat is 241 days on average. With an MDR service, we're expediting that mean time to detect and respond by just 6 minutes.
I always like to point out too that is mean time to respond, not detection. I know some other vendors like to do mean time to detect. We caught it in X amount of time, but they haven't done anything yet. What we're quoting here is 6 minutes from when it happened to when we see it and when we've already responded to it. We've blocked it, quarantined it, locked it down.
Why is it so important that you take action? We talked about attackers looking for vulnerabilities and then attacks, unfortunately, remaining in place for a long period of time. Let's say, for example, someone has left a certain machine unprotected and we're able to identify that as part of that response. What you're seeing is just the tip of the iceberg. We can then take steps to mitigate against something that might be left out there. Maybe they're running an older version of a server operating system somewhere. It prompts a more thorough investigation to allow us to say to the customer, okay, now we've observed that this tactic is being used. We can then advise you on how to take steps to harden against that, whether that's closing down ports, adopting more healthy best practices in the way that they organize their network.
That added visibility really helps kind of shorten the attack chain, right? So the earlier we can catch them in that attack chain, the better. We see a lot of times is these attackers trying to live off the land. They want to get into your network and they don't do anything right away. They want to get in, kind of get their feelers out there, see how many things are unprotected, what they can access, and get as much data as they can before they start their attack.
How do you detect malware that's not actually malware? They're in your network, they're prowling around, but the important thing is they're not actually doing anything malicious. I mean, they're not dropping just a payload, not just that, using legitimate tools that aren't malicious, using legitimate techniques. So it's how do you detect that?
And that's what an XDR and an MDR is great at. That's why you need the security analyst or the MDR side to do that for you, because a lot of it is judgment calls and looking at the data and seeing what's happening, right? You see a user using command line or PowerShell, that could be totally legitimate. Maybe that user should be doing that. But you don't know unless you're a security analyst monitoring it, or you have our MDR looking at that, and then we look into what is that user doing with PowerShell or command? What are they trying to get access to? And then you can say, hey, while that was a legitimate use of Windows and the tools built into Windows, it was being used for illegitimate reasons.